Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a very interesting review, impressions of a really cool knife here, something that a subscriber allowed me to take a look at. This is the Mr. Designs Zero. It's a very cool button lock, very sleek, very nice and clandestine, if you will, very minimalist knife that I really think is pretty neat. Worth checking out for sure. It's called Pivotless, so there's only a screw on one side here and one here, and that does the entire outside of the knife, and everything is contained within that. It does have a blade on here, and we'll take a look at that here in just a second. The designer is, or the company is Mr. Designs, and it's done by Bestech, which is really fantastic OEM. Highly recommend them. This is really neat. M390 blade steel, titanium outside, and we're going to go ahead and pop this open. See, it's a flipper, and then it's a button lock as well. So you can do the button lock to open like that, or close it like that, and then it's a flipper like that. Very thin blade. We'll get into the measurements of it in a second. It's definitely a slicer, meant to be, kind of like a great open box, letters, whatever, what have you, utilitarian. The blade is completely enclosed within this. It has a button lock, which is typical of a plunge lock. Plunge lock design, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, which is what you see in a lot of knives. Am I correct in assuming that? I believe so. Yeah. So I can't take it apart. It's not my knife. It's being loaned to me. So I'm going to assume that's what it is. It's your typical plunge lock. Very cool though. Wire clip though. It is completely deep carry, completely concealed. You can see that. I guess you could theoretically take the clip out, I'm guessing, and it could be just like something you leave on your desk, and you think it's maybe a e-cigarette or maybe a flash drive or something like that. So very clandestine if you're wanting a knife that's very sleek and doesn't look like a knife at all, and this definitely looks like that. Very cool. So it's very functional. I like that. Everything's beautifully chamfered all the way around. You can see that. It is a wire clip. My favorite type of wire clip with one single lip loop. It's got plenty of room to get in and out of the pocket pants. I did attempt to put that on my pants just to kind of feel how that would go in and out. What goes in and out, just fantastic. The blade is beautifully satin polished finish. The button there is very nicely satin polished finished. The single pivot, that is a T8, and I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure that was a T8. I think we confirmed that. So here's a T8 screw. And we'll go ahead and just double check that. Yeah, T8 there. And then I believe this is a T8 as well. Yeah, T8 there. So both two T8s, which is really nice for disassembly. You'll also find it's really great utilization of blade to handle ratio is fantastic as well. So let's go ahead and flip that open. As you can see, beautiful satin finish, almost a full flat grind, no swedge on here, but it is a flat back, really rounded, nicely softened back there. Comes to a crazy thin edge, super sharp edge. I have large hands, so you can see I have plenty of room here. You have double extra large hands, definitely very utilitarian in that regard. Now there's no flipper or anything to hold you from sliding. So this is not a knife, if your hand's going to move around, you got to be careful. You don't want to slide in and cut yourself. So you got to make sure you got a good grip somewhere where you're not going to lose your control on there. There is some jimping here that does allow you to keep some control from slipping here. So that is very functional and it works really well. So that's nice. Everything is really tight tolerances. Everything's really tight in there. Now you'll notice in this thing, he did add, looks like some magnets. And I know there's a feature where you can add magnets to give it a little extra kind of a feel of a detent. So when I get a flip, it flips a little harder than what it normally would. And I think that has to do with the magnets that's in there. You can see the magnets get pulled in like that, because a plunge lock is not super strong and it's a very thin blade. So that's kind of a nice little extra feature there. I want to say it's a back spacer, but it's not. It's a built-in back spacer, if you will, that part of the entire handle design, how it fits together, almost seems seamless, but you can see the seam right there goes all the way around like that, so that's pretty cool. A lot of milling on the inside for weight relief, so this is very light, along with a very light blade, so that makes it really seamless in that regard. So you have two ways of opening. We talked about the flipper and we talked about the button lock, so both of those work really nicely. There's no need for anything cutaway. You don't have to do any jimping or anything on here because it's just a straight down. Works a lot like the smock and a lot of other knives who have that really square part up there. So, and it kind of works with the aesthetic. It kind of keeps that whole design look there, if you will, of the knife, which is kind of nice. I think that's really cool. All right. So What else? I think that's about it. Feels like it's on cage ceramic or cage bearings, so it does move really, really nicely. Let's go ahead and do a little measurement. Let's weigh this little guy. So this guy weighs in at 3.25 ounces, 3.25 ounces, which is very, very respectable, very light. So let's go ahead and get our measurements on this knife here. Overall length, what we're talking about in a knife here, it is right just shy of 8 inches. So we're at, I want to say 7 7/8 inches, right, from the tip. And we look at the handle. If we go from right here to there, we're about 4 1/4 inches. If you choked up a little bit, you could probably get 4 1/2 inches in. The overall length of the blade from the tip to back is 3 1/2 inches. The actual overall cutting length, we are probably at 3 3/8 inches, right? So just shy of 3 1/2 inches. So that is that. Let's go ahead and do the blade stock thickness. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now I'm going to have to drop the knife out so I can actually measure it because it's fully contained in there, so it's hard to get to, but this is going to be ridiculous. I think it's going to be, we're looking at 0.08 maybe. Okay, so we're at 0.09. All right, so it's just under 1/10 of an inch. It's 0.09, so it's 90 thousandths of an inch. 90 thousandths of an inch, 0.09 inches. So it's very, very, very thin blade. This is, if you use your knives to pry and do crazy things, this is not the knife for that. You will destroy that knife really, really fast. It is M390 blade steel. Looks really nice and handles really, really well. So, all right, so the price of this knife is going to be about $280 to $285. So it's definitely in the regular area. It's less than $600. Actually, it's less than $300. Sorry, it's less than $300. So it's in the regular realm. It's just a regular knife. You know, it's not over $300. So that's pretty good for nowadays. That's about a decent price for the material, especially for the titanium handles, M390 blade steel, cage bearings, almost semi-integral feeling like in a sense, single pivot, which is really like a captive pivot. All that stuff is really, really nice. Good deal. So purpose, EDC. Absolutely can EDC this. This would be like the most clandestine, perfect EDC. You wouldn't even know what you're EDCing. People would have no idea unless they knew how to flip it open. I mean, there's no way to open it any other way. You'd have to know that you can flip it, or you'd have to know that you can press the button here and flip it. And so otherwise it would be pretty concealed. So that's kind of nice. Is it hard use? Absolutely not. I mean, hard use in the sense, can you open lots of boxes, letters, envelopes, you know, things like that? Yeah, you absolutely could. So if that's your hard use, then sure, but I wouldn't go out bushwhacking with it. I wouldn't go try to break a log, anything like that. That's absolutely ridiculous. You would destroy this knife and it would be worthless, right? So, but is it a collection piece? I think so. I mean, it's very unique design. Not something I've seen anywhere else. So I think the uniqueness of it allows it to be a collection piece. I mean, I think it's just really nicely done. So I think it's very enjoyable. It's just one of those knives that's so different that, you know, it's cool, right? And so I think that's kind of neat. All right, so let's talk about the overall design. Beautifully chamfered all the way around. Very soft corners, nothing sharp. Even here, the point, nothing sharp to dig into your hand. Flipping is awesome. You can squeeze that. No hot spots with the clip. It just works really well in hand. Works well left and right-handed, right? Obviously. I mean, it would be nice if it was a reversible clip. It's right-hand tip-up only, which is a bummer. It'd be nice if they could put maybe a couple holes there, but that wouldn't work with this design unless you did something else here, right? So I get it. I get why they did it this way. It's a bummer. It would be cool if they had a clip that could come all the way over like that. That would be kind of nice. You know, just maybe have a little longer clip that could come over and be just like a normal clip. Interesting kind of concept, I think. The opening is fantastic. It flips open really well. It flips open with the button lock just like you would with any other button lock. And then when you drop to close it, it closes really nicely, right? And especially with that added magnet they added in there. I'm guessing it was probably a little weak and they wanted a little extra strength there. So that's super stinking cool. All right, so opening, closing, just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. I like that a lot. Fidget factor. All right, so you've got two ways of deploy it. I'm going to give this a solid 4 because these are very functional, fidgety kind of as far as a factor. I mean, you could just fidget this all day long. It's just a unique design that fidgets really well for what it does, the flipper and the button, and they do it well. So I give it a 4 out of 10. You know, there's not really anything else. I can't grab the blade or anything like that, but 4 out of 10 is just solid, absolutely solid. Fidgety goodness out of that 410, I'm giving it 100%. I mean, what they do well. The flipper works well, the button works well. So all that is just outstanding, outstanding. This is executed really, really well. Fidgety goodness, I'm gonna, you know what, definitely 100%, no questions. I wouldn't even give it an A, it's an A+ all the way. So my overall thoughts, is it recommended? Well, yeah, I think so. Now, this is going to have an appeal to people who like the aesthetic, right? So if this aesthetic is not for you, if you don't like that really simple, really clandestine, real simple hidden blade look, it's not going to be for you. You're not going to like it. So I would say pass on it. But if you like something like this, once in a while, just something a little bit different, this is definitely going to be that. You're going to enjoy this. You're going to find that this is really cool. It comes with this beautiful satin, kind of a plain titanium, and has a black handle. So they both look really cool. So if you like the black, maybe a black handle with the satin blade, you might enjoy that a little bit more. So there is options, right? You could get the other one. So, and I believe it's still available. Looking on their site, it looks like you could still order this. Yeah, let's see the black zero. Yep, still available. You could order that one as well. So if you like the black handle with maybe the black clip, that would be maybe a different alternative to this. I think you would definitely probably enjoy that. So there you go. I'm absolutely going to recommend this knife. It's going to be a recommended knife. I think it's cool enough. It's done well enough. It's sleek enough. It's executed really well. It's something that if I was a knife collector and I just was looking for this, I would absolutely get this. I don't. It's something I would be seriously consider buying. I really would. It's just not quite my aesthetic at this point, and it's not quite what I'm really carrying in my collection at this point. But at some point, this could be very, very appealing in a lot of ways. I like the lightness. I like the geometry of all of this, and that just is very symmetrical and nice feeling. I like symmetry like this. It's done well. So yeah, I'm going to definitely recommend this knife. I think it's really a cool knife, and it's worth checking out. And I think if the aesthetics appeal to you, you're going to really enjoy this, and this will be a knife to get for sure. So that's my overall thoughts. So let's go ahead and take some quick close-ups of this. So you can see the handle with the button, and that beautiful satin finish on the blades is really nice. I think you'll enjoy that. Does a really nice job. Let's look at the back, just basic, the pivot, which is really, it's called Pivotless because there's no pivot over here. It goes into the frame itself, so that's really cool. But that's really done well right there. It is cage bearings, and you have the wire clip right there, which is released there. You can see the inside and some of the milling and the blade. Let's take a quick look at that blade up close. Let's see if we can get the focus on there. All right, so there you go. You can see the back of the blade right there. All right, so let's look at the handle. In the back of the handle. So very cool. A really neat little knife. I think it's definitely worth considering maybe adding to your collections if this aesthetic speaks to you. I very much enjoyed the opportunity to check this out. So I really appreciate awesome subscribers and people of the channel that really have supported me and allowed me to check out their knives. Thank you so much. You are awesome. Really, really appreciate you. So this is cool, and this was a really neat experience to experience this. Now he has another design, another knife that he actually designed, and I believe the guy's name is Mihai Rusnak. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. I think he's the one who designed it. I don't know if that's the guy for the company, but there's another knife that they have. It's called a Cipher Decipher. And that one is really, really cool. And I think that one is also, that one is, yep, same designer. That got Blade Show Knife of the Year. Winner at Blade Show West, Best Factory EDC. And, I just quickly, you can take a quick look at that one right there. That was this particular knife. So very, very cool knife. Definitely worth checking out if you're interested in some knives like that. I think you would enjoy that. Really neat guy. I'll have the link down below for this knife. So that's it. A really good knife. Definitely worth checking out. Thank you again to let me try it out. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, entertaining, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? If you have already hit that like button, would you also please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel. Allows the channel to grow, allows me to do more things, produce more things, and ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate every one of you guys who subscribe, who watch the videos, who like the videos. Thank you. And then also to my members, channel members out there, thank you. You guys rock. You really help the channel so much. And not enough words could say thank you, and I do just say thank you every time. Appreciate you guys because you really allow me to do so much more than I ever thought I could at this channel. So it's really humbling and awesome. So thank you. Again, I appreciate you guys watching this video and appreciate you being part of it. So if you found all this, videos, this content, you like it all, maybe also consider hitting that notification button so you can be notified of future content when it is released. And finally, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.